as I said, if I had to actually go over all the stories in my career, in that 35-year career, 40% of them would be tinged with some type of insurance mishap.
There's some problems. There are problems in terms of payment.
I mean, for cost, yeah, it's ridiculous. Say your rent is like, $1,500 or $1,400, and you have a certain amount of money, and then your health insurance is like $400, or even in the mid-threes. That's a lot of money.
It's more stressful for me not to have had a mammogram in 3 years. I don't know what's happening with me. That's more stressful than trying to go and get it, which I think it's $300 now. I can't afford $300 on one-shot deal.
I got a hernia that I'm trying to fix, that I'm having a hard time getting treated for because no doctor really wants to fix it because I can't get Medicaid.
But come October, when COBRA runs out, and I don't have full, and if I'm not employed or don't have, I won't have benefits, I'm in big trouble. It's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare.
I went to my doctor for my annual gynecological exam and found out that they wouldn't pay for a Pap test. Ever since I was 40, I've been having one every year, but this plan says they only pay every 2 years. So I pay for it myself, I need it. I have 2 sisters that died of cancer. I've had abnormal Paps before. I really need this.
Well, I think there has to be a suitable safety net for people who can't get health insurance. Like, I'm somebody who got health insurance and I still couldn't find a doctor.
They would only pay for half of my prescription.
I have braces on my legs, and I was under the impression that they were going to pay for a little bit of it, but then they denied that coverage.
Physical therapy for a problem I had started 10 years ago with my back and my hips. And I was making progress with physical therapy, but Oxford actually discontinued it.
Like my family, my son and his wife were offered cash by an insurance company the day their son was born, if they would leave the hospital that day rather than stay overnight. Things like that. It's all in all, it's not a system that I'm happy with, believe me.
4 years later, we had another daughter. Unfortunately, after a week at open heart surgery, she was born with a defect that was 1 in 25,000 or something. She passed away. You have the insurance for emergencies. This was an emergency. I can understand them saying, well, maybe you owe $10,000, but they were talking about $50,000, $60,000.
Right now she was struggling because Medicaid did not want it to pay for 24-hour nursing, and she's on a ventilator. So she needs nurses. She can't even turn her head. And they did not want it to accommodate her. She cannot feed herself, she cannot rise, all daily living, so we struggled with that.
So I'm walking down the street in Jersey City, and I start to get some chest pains, and I'm feeling a lot of stress and tightness in my chest, and I feel my arm kind of go numb. And I remember all the TV shows and all the ER episodes, and I think something's really wrong here, and it's probably my heart. And I'm sweating, and I'm starting to breathe funny, and my wife is in doing some business in an office across the street, and I see a police car just parked in a parking lot. And what I really want to do is go over to the cop and say, I think I might be having a heart attack. Can you call me an ambulance? But what goes through my head is, I have no medical coverage. If I actually go to the hospital, and it turns out that it's not a heart attack, it's just stress related, it's going to cost me a few $100s for the ambulance, a couple thousand for the hospital visit, and if it is a heart attack, it's going to cost a lot of money. We'll lose any money that we have. All our savings will be gone. We'll have to file for bankruptcy. So what do? I don't go to the cop, and I cross my fingers that it's just stress related. I go to the doctor the next day, and I get my special 20% or 80% off deal, and they say, they check me out and test my oxygen level and put all the things on and everything. And they say to me, it's not your heart. It's entirely stress related. So what's the point of the story? That it turned out there was nothing wrong and I should be grateful that I'm okay? Or is the point of the story, it's pure insanity that when I was standing on the street thinking that I was having a heart attack, I didn't call for help. And it was all based on money.